Good morning. How's it going? Or good afternoon. How are you guys doing? You see me typing in the chat. I'm still trying to get those commands to work for you guys. And I didn't really work on it since the last stream, I will admit. But I was just kind of hoping maybe restarting a few times. Or maybe I need to start these little guys up. Let's see. Hopefully that doesn't change anything too. How are you guys doing? Hi, Aramis. How's it going? I'm sewing today, finally. See, I still can't get my commands to work. I created all these cams. I got the Streamlabs chatbot. I got one for YouTube. I got one for Twitch. Maybe I have to have them on. I don't know. They're like separate little windows now on the bottom of my thing. So I'm going to open the other one now. This one's for, I don't know which one it's for, honestly. So how's the lighting, guys? Everything look okay? We're making the Amelia dress. I am wearing one right now. It is bias cut. And on the Streamlabs site, you have to turn the bot on. Okay. But what does that mean? Like where? Hi, Christy. I see you're on your own t-shirt mission this month. That's awesome. Well, Aramis, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, at this point, you know? I'm sure I'll figure it out, but it's like, I'm like that, like, overload point. Hi, Olivia. Hopefully you don't fall asleep at work because you just ate lunch. I know that feeling. You know the whole thing in the afternoon, how you get really sleepy? Like, a lot of people get really sleepy, like, in that, like, 2 to 4 window. A lot of people, and then they have, like, an iced coffee or something sugary or something. Awesome, Ida. Thanks for telling me that. Well, you know what that really is? It's dehydration. So the best thing to do is to hydrate all day, and then you don't have those like afternoon sleepies, you know, because the worst thing you can do is have coffee and sugar, even though I do the same thing, you guys. Oh, t-shirts are after you finish the existing project. Okay, Aramis, tell me. So on Streamlabs site, there's CloudBot on the left. Click that. And then at the top, there's CloudBot with the slider next to it. Click the slider to turn it on. Streamlabs site, you mean my like the app? Oh, yeah, CloudBot. Okay. Thanks for letting me. Okay, so the slider, there's CloudBot on the left. Click that, and then at the top, there's CloudBot with a slider next to it. Click the slider to turn on. It is on. Now it's off. And now, let's see. Now it's kind of wigging out because I hit it a few times. It is on. So... and it says, don't forget to mod Streamlabs by going to your YouTube community settings and adding this whole long chain of crazy letters and numbers. As a moderator, I've tried that a billion times. And then it led me to, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know what to do. So another day, because I'd rather be sewing, right? So someday you guys will get fun commands, and then it'll probably take you a few times to remember how to do it, you know? So, well, let's turn my machine on. All right, so like I said, I am sewing this without seam finishing. Here is an older one that I made with no seam finishing. See that? Nice raw edges, but they're soft and fuzzy. I hemmed the facings. I didn't use interfacing. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Christy. Thanks, Aramis. I might do that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know. Sid is offered as well. But I just don't want to take advantage of people. I'm one of those people that really values other people's time. And so it's really hard for me to reach out for help, you know? I'm just being honest, you know? So I really don't like it when I feel later on that I inconvenience someone when they were like, no, it's no problem. And then I feel like a pest or something. So awesome, Christy. So now you don't feel so bad about that 5 yards, right? Awesome, Aramis. Me either. I love helping people. Obviously, this is what I'm doing, right? This is like, here I am. I just want people to feel comfortable sewing. You know, it's kind of an important thing in the world, so we all have clothes. All right, so yeah, here's my raw and unfinished tea house dress. I was just watching a tutorial on how to sew an invisible zipper, because look at mine is pretty mediocre. This is one of my first that I did after a long time ago. And it's, you know, it's getting threadbare. I'm hard on my clothes, you guys. I wash and wear. I'm not fancy. No dry cleaning for me. All right, so here's my pattern. So let's do this. Okay, here's my pockets, my facings. Okay, you guys, don't let me forget the pockets because I keep seeming to be doing that lately, and you're going to be in trouble. All right, so let's see, lower front. I have not touched these pieces since we cut them out together, you guys. Yeah, I know. Terrible, huh? This is my lower front, this is my lower back. We'll set those right there. Let's work on the bodice first. I have this kooky fabric, which I'm totally into. So I think first I'm going to do my center front seam, and then I'm going to do my darts. I know this is my front because it has this crazy cutout right there. I can hear my pins for my dart placement right there. I'll just leave those for now. And I still have the pins in for that pivot point at the center front, which I don't really need. I trust myself. Hi, Louise. Hi, Lisa. Yeah, no worries, no worries. I know. Hi, Amelia. Or Rachel. I like that you put that little like slash. Like now I call you Rachel. That's awesome. So this one, it would be easy to think that this is the armhole right here. But this is the center front V-neck right here. So this is what this is right here. The armhole is very deceptive right here. There's only a little clip right here, or on the pattern it's a little dot. And this is the armhole right here, and this is the side seam. So very easy to mistake this for the armhole because it looks like a traditional armhole, and it's not. All right, let's double check my seam allowances because you guys know me. I just do whatever I want sometimes, and I don't want to be a bad example. Haven't? Yes. That's what I was gonna do too. Wait, what was I just said quarter? Oh, hem sleeve edge. Okay, yeah. I was kind of hoping it would say neckline. It was 1/4 inch because I'm such a big fan of 1/4 inch seams. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure this all kind of lines up before I sew my center front. So yeah, see, even though that was just like this and this was lined up pretty much, I'm still gonna straighten that out. The reason being is it can still get a little cockeyed. Plus, this is on the bias, so I ain't messing around with it, right? I don't really want to get into any trouble with my shirt getting stretched out, my bodice. So feels good to be sewing again. We haven't had a sewing stream in a couple times, right? So that's kind of fun. I'm gonna top stitch my seams. I'm gonna open it up and top stitch it because I'm not finishing my edges here. I kind of want to do this from the front side because my top thread looks better than my bobbin thread. But that would require me ironing it, so I better iron it first. Let's look and see how my print's coming along. There's the girl. You see her? And here she is over here too. This one I think will get caught up in the dart. Just gonna warm up my iron real quick. It's pretty warm already because I was just putting the interfacing on. I have my iron cam on. Oh, thanks, Louise. I'm really glad. You like how dirty my iron is? She's not in your face, the girl. Exactly. All right, so I'm just gonna top stitch this on either side of the seam there. You can do whatever you want. The seam allowance is 1/2 inch. You could do the full 1/2 inch. This is not in the instructions. This is my own thing that I'm doing. I'm not gonna do it too far away. I'm kind of centering the seam on my presser foot there. How's the camera, guys? You want it closer at all? Brighter? I'm going to start from the top and go down again because I don't really want to get any torque. Because if I were to start from the top, go down, and then come up from the bottom, you could get a little bit of like torquing in between these two stitches. And I don't really want that to happen. All right, so there's my seam, my stitched seam. Let's do the dart. course, it's pinned on the right side when I really need it pinned on the wrong side. Here we go. Hey Brooke, how's it going? You cut a top on the bias but did the front and back on the fold. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, Ida. The reason they put this a seam right there is to stabilize it because it is bias. So you might get a little bit of bagginess and a little bit of, I don't know what to say, just kind of less stability there. But it's a good experiment because if you don't, then you know you can do that, right? So that's kind of cool. All right, I'm going to match up my notches because remember, see, look at that. I'm going to fold it right there, actually. I'm going to ignore that and I'm going to go by the fold. Because see, it wants to, oh yeah, there we go. No. Did I cut that inaccurately? What do I trust more? My notch or that or my point? I don't really want to force it. Here we go. I only backstitch at the beginning of the dart. And then I aim the top of my dart straight in front of my needle. And I go off the edge. Now you guys will remember that my machine automatically clips the thread. So I have to be really careful because if I press too hard with my heels, it'll just clip the thread and I'll have nothing left to tie it with. So it's cool and overcast there. Wow. Not here, Brooke. We're so close, but yeah, so far away. Ida, you're never breaking any rules. It's just an experiment, right? All right, I'm hand tying my little dart there. Get rid of that. I'm really glad you guys like that drafting stream. We're going to do more of those. I just need to figure out things that I find useful for you guys that don't get too technical. See, this one's lining up way better. You see that? See this little notch here and that little notch there? Because this isn't technically going to that point there. I think because when it's opened out, it's going to continue the curve of the waist. You can tell it's hung up there. There we go. So I have to lift up my needle, pull it out, clip the threads. Otherwise, it'll automatically clip the thread right there and have like a 1/2 inch, and then I'd have to back tack. Oh, yeah. Oh, that works, Ida. Hi, Malin. How's it going? Did I miss that one? Let's do 3. All right. So there's my dart. Oh, yeah, because it's the side seam. So you see, just in case you're making this and you're like, why is this off of the corner there? The thing is, it's not. This is the side seam here. So the dart gets pushed. Let's see. Does it get? I think it gets pushed up. See, it's lining up with the side seam there. Pretty good. Could be my cutting and my sewing. And the seam allowance is right here. So it's actually going into the side seam, just so you know. So you know the dart doesn't line up with the waist because see, look, it cuts up above. It lines up with the side seam. Darts typically get pressed up when they're a side dart and towards the center front if they are a waist dart. It's usually contrary to what you think from the inside of the garment, but it makes total sense from looking at it from the outside. That's awesome, Malin. I'm really glad you guys like that. I'm really sorry I didn't sew that shirt with you yesterday, like I told you guys I might. But for the first time ever, I am having some weirdness with that machine. I haven't used the cover stitch in years, really. Maybe twice since I've moved here. So, you know, there's probably that issue. All right, now I'm going to decide how I'm going to proceed because I am not going to do my shoulder seams. So I'm going to do my facings, and maybe that's what I'll do now. I'm not going to do my shoulder seams, and it's because I know that this dress being on the bias is going to stretch out over time. So what I'm going to do is leave the shoulders open, pin it, and hang it from my hanger for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm going to finish it, because for me, for my body, and probably for most people, the length that you don't want to lose, you don't want to gain, is through your armhole. And it puts a lot in the armhole. And because I will already have the waist seam sewn, I don't want to have to unpick that. So that's so funny. You guys really like that t-shirt stream, huh? I felt like I was going a little too fast for you guys too, you know, like just like speeding through doing that pattern, but it just felt good. I need a push, you guys, because man, doing the pattern, those home sew patterns for the chicken boots things, is oh man, all of the graphic work is like, it's no fun. I'm gonna do the side seam. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, is there a waist dart in this? Oh yeah, we're gonna do waist darts. Yeah, right, Melon? Exactly. It's not that the shoulder seams stretch out. It's that the whole bodice gets long. That's how I should specify that, Christy. So once, because of the bias, it's going to get longer through here. This is the side seam in the armhole. This is the back neck right here. And I'm going to leave this whole seam open so that I can just shorten it from there. Because there's no set-in sleeve, you can get away with doing that. Yeah, I know, right, Louise? I have to watch things over and over. I've watched this invisible zipper thing like 3 or 4 times. Even though everything she told me, I was like, yeah, okay, I know this. But just seeing her do it, like in the steps, it was like, okay, I just need that. I need it to flow like that, you know? Yeah, so I wouldn't consider reinforcing the shoulder seams on this, mainly because this fabric is more stable than some. Like a t-shirt, sometimes they can get a little stretched out, and you will see that. Hi, Margaret. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do this. Where's my, oh, here it is right here. How did I miss that I pinned these on the right side? That's hilarious. All right, so I'm just gonna put my little pin on the wrong side where I'm actually gonna sew the dart. I've never sewn one of these on camera, but I've made 4 of them. So I actually got a little nervous. I was like, I don't remember how to sew this together. And it's the most basic of basics, you know? But because I'm leaving my shoulders open and there's no set-in sleeve, I was like, all right, you got to plan this through, Duffy. I'm talking a big game, not finishing my seams. And I know people are like, oh, you lost me. I'm not even going to tune in for that. That is just against the world. But the reason I'm kind of promoting that is because I find that the garment is more comfortable because the serging thread isn't scratching me. This would be a pretty tricky one to French seam, but you could totally French seam it. It might be a little bit of a, what to do first and what to do next type of situation, especially with that side seam. And the lack of a distinct armhole, but, and not everybody has a serger. And I'm just showing, like, on a bias cut garment, you don't really need a serger because bias doesn't fray. Okay, I can't believe I remembered to do that on all 4 darts. I almost back tacked on one. Hi, Joanne, how's it going? Welcome. I'm sewing the Amelia dress. Oh, I still need to post. I need to do my little, okay, all of our dresses are picked for our sew along. I've been posting more on Instagram than I ever usually do. So I've been running out of times to post because I don't want to post too much. Okay. Let's iron these darts. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can use pinking shears too. Totally, you could use pinking shears. That is a good point. But because you're doing a zigzag cut with the pinking shears, it's creating a bunch of biases. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't realized that either, but that is true. The pinking shears work really well, and they were the main way people finished their seams for a really long time. Okay, so I'm going to sew my side seams together, but I'm actually not going to top stitch them right now because they are going to get finished when I hem the sleeves. I'm going to do it all in one. So I'm just going to sew this side seam together so that I can continue on with my skirt. This is my miscutting here. Pretty bad, huh? I'm just going to go to that point on the pattern. Remember, there was a dot right there. And that is so that the sleeve can get hemmed, because this is your armhole. Now, I will say the one drawback with this dress for me, and it's probably because I have broad shoulders, I'm really active, I bike to work in these dresses, I rip these right here. I'm also kind of busty, you know, so there's that. And maybe it is because I don't like a really deep armhole. I don't like my bra showing through my armhole, my sleeve. So I will make my armhole pretty high up. Like it's, you know, it's pretty high up there. And so a lot of my dresses, you'll see that like this one, not a lot of my dresses, this dress in particular, you can tell this one, it's ripped right there. And on the other side, I actually think I zigzagged it. Because it actually got really ripped. See that? Like I said, I wore these dresses to pieces. But they're quilting cotton, and as strong as quilting cotton is cotton, and it gets more easily ripped over time. That's kind of a bad way to say it. What am I doing? Putting that upside down. If you're new here, the reason my machine goes up and down, that's my presser foot, or the sound you're hearing, that's my presser foot. And because I have electronics on my machine, it gets a little impatient. Like when I'm done sewing, it goes up, and then if I don't start sewing right away, it slams down. So that's what you're hearing. Plus, sometimes my heel is a little touchy on it. So sorry about the noise. Other people say they like the sound now. It's like comforting, which is hilarious to me. My old machine wasn't as loud. So I have been trying to think about a way to maybe reinforce this little armhole. I mean, best thing to do would be to have a little scoop right here. You know? And then that way there wouldn't be this like, it's like a point. Like basically the armhole is a slit. See? It's just a straight slit. There's no contour. That's why. At least you can see that they did the back a little taller than the front. That's always good. That's always good. Okay, so here we have this. I'm not going to top stitch the sides yet because I'm not going to hem my sleeves quite yet. Actually, I'm going to take that back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it partially because I really need my waist seam to be available to sew right now. So I am actually going to, I'm going to press these seams open real quick. I'll just do it real quick. Yeah, I'm kind of doing this in a different order. So, I don't know. Oh, hello, Siobhan. How's it going? I hope I say your name right. Siobhan. I need to use the Google thing. You guys so used to your... Louise, I feel like you were one of the ones most recently that's like, what's that noise? Yeah, you get really used to it. I'm just looking at this because there was this little... I'm going to smooth that out just because I'm being a little... I don't want to say perfectionist because you guys know I am not a perfectionist. I'm a get it done type of gal. That's different. I feel like getting it done and wearing it, that's the more important thing. Yeah, I'm into this fabric. Do you think it'll look okay on me? Is it too white? I'm pretty into it though. All right, so I'm going to top stitch my side seam here on the outside. And then I'm going to leave it so that, see, I could hem all the way up here. Okay, I'll tell you why. I should explain why I'm not going to hem it right now. Because I'm leaving my shoulder seam open. If I were to hem this, which I can totally hem this right now and go all the way through to the shoulder. This is the shoulder, this is the armhole, this is the neck. And then I hang my dress, it grows, you know, it stretches out on the bodice, and then I need to come back and shorten it. I'm doing it through the armhole because that's where I'm choosing to do it. I do not like sewing seams together with that are already partially finished. So if these were both partially finished and then I sewed them together, it's sloppy. In my opinion, it's sloppy. It wasn't you, Louise. Okay. Oh, thanks, Brooke. I'm into it. Like, I wear things even if I'm not that into it. But I did ask a complete stranger at the fabric store the other day. I'm like, well, this color would look good. I mean, she was like, I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. So what I would rather have is have this seam sewed together like this and then do my hem in a continuous way. It's more clean because then, like right here, you wouldn't see that seam poking out right there because that's what would happen, you know? That is a little picky of me, but it is a nice technique. And there's no reason not to do it. When did my needle come unthreaded? What the heck? Am I the only one that whines about that? I never used to till I had to do it on camera and it was sideways, you know. Oh, dude, don't do that. Come on, Phoenix. That's the name of my machine, you guys. All right, so I'm going to back tack right there. I don't need to back tack at the waist seam because that's going to be caught into the waist seam for the skirt. So there's no reason for me to back tack right here. I do get asked that by people. Why aren't you back tacking? There's occasional times that I forget to because I'm so used to not back tacking, but it saves thread, it's faster to sew, it's not necessary, and I wouldn't, like, when I see other really good sewists back tack in videos, they do a really long back tack, and I don't want that poking up from my waist seam. I don't want to see that. I like it to kind of disappear into the seam. I feel like it's a nice effect. I don't think that they do that intentionally. Oh, my ironing was really bad right there, so it looks a little weird. I think really what they're doing is they're emphasizing it, and it is hard to see things on video. So that's why they're doing that really half-inch long. But there is why my machine feels really weird right now. Sorry, it's distracting. Why did you do that? That was weird. Okay, let's put the facing on. Where did I put those? Have you ever had your colors done? I did in high school. Oh, that's fun, Rachel. I think I saw your booklet. Why are you partial to Phoenix? Rachel or Christy? I used to always name my bikes Artemis and my machines Artemis. Everything was just named Artemis because I love Artemis. Now I've switched to Phoenix. I feel kind of bad, like I'm dissing Artemis or something. Yeah, I was a cool summer. Do they still call it that, Rachel, when you get your colors done? I feel like it was a 50-year-old woman who did my colors at the time. Isn't that funny? Now I'm almost 50. I'm putting the facing seam on. Oh my God, half-inch seams seem gigantic. Just trim that bad boy down. Oh, you know what? Maybe I want to do this after I put my zipper in. Let me think about that. Can I do that? Because yeah. Let me think about that for a second. I think I want to do this after. I'm going to put this in. I'm just going to try it. I'm going to put it in, put my zipper in first before my facing. So I can put my front facing on, but I'm not going to put my back facings on. All these different steps I'm doing in different order. Sorry, guys. Oh, because you live in Phoenix. Oh, that's funny because people ask me online, are you from Phoenix? That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, Brooke. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, when you're at a show and you're shopping for fabric or yarn or whatever you're doing, it's like sensory overload. And me and Brooke have stood in booths and we've watched it over and over and over again all day long, every day of the show. People totally overwhelmed. And sometimes I can tell they're about to make a bad choice. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here all weekend. Just think about it. You know, you can always come back. And you know, because it is just, and I'm not even, was never selling things that had to do with their color, you know, like what looked good on them, you know. They were mostly deciding like, oh my God, hedgehogs are sloths, you know. So I was like, you know what? I'm here all weekend. You can get both. You can order online, you know, like you have options. It is not the last time. All right, so the 1/2 inch seam is slowly killing me inside. Sorry. I am picky about that. All right, so remember on the pattern where it wanted me to mark the little dot right there? Well, you know what's more important is I really want to nail the needle in the seam right there because that's where I want my V to be, is right there at the seam, you know? Oh, yeah, Rachel, I could see that. When you hem the armhole, do you sew across the bottom of the hem armhole as a reinforce? What does KWIM mean? Marcia. I have done that. It didn't prevent it from ripping still. It just ripped in a different spot. If that's what you're referring to because of my little issue of me, you know, busting on my armholes. Okay, so I'm going to feel, I don't want to mistake my seam. I'm actually going to look at where's my ruler? So when you're looking at seam allowance, it's really easy when you get to these points to start kind of going shallower than you need to. It's not the end of the world if you do. Oh, know what I mean. Oh, yeah. But, you know, I kind of want this to be really symmetrical on my V, right? So then it's important. I want my V to be symmetrical on either side of that center point. And so when you look at the seam allowance, I'm going to look at this V right here and go straight like this, right? So I'm going to kind of take my 1/2 inch. I'm going to look for the center. Now I could have just trusted where the pattern had me put that little point. But the thing is, if I got my seam allowance any different when I did my center front seam, it might not be in that space, that spot anymore. So it's better to trust what the dress is actually sewn up as. I don't want to line up my interfacing. I just want to line up the facing. This is just extra. There we go. And I'm looking at my 1/2 inch on my throat plate and trying to stay true to that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we're past the cutting point, right? Like now we've sewn stuff. We got to go by what we've sewn. So that's more true. You can see my facing shrank a little bit. Okay, so let's see how I did. Ooh, not bad. There's my point. Let's get all these threads out of the way. See that? So my top stitching on either side of the seam is a little bit off, right? So the stitching is here. That may visually make it look like my V is a little bit off, but I know in my heart it's in center. So I'm just going to clip right down to that. And I'm going to trim off this. I'm going to trim this down. The wider that is, it's not going to fold to the inside of the facing very well because it's just too wide. That distance, like this length is going to be trying to stretch out there. And yeah, of course I would clip it. It's still 1/4 inch seams, man. Neck facings, armholes, like sleeveless armholes, 1/4 inch. For any of you guys going to start drafting women's patterns. That's my tip. Could I have sewn the dress side? Yeah, you could. Totally. I'm used to doing the little facing on the top side, so good point. I could have just flipped it over and done it from the dress side, and then I would have been accurate from the beginning, right? Without guesswork. All right. I'm going to understitch. Understitch means you put the seam allowances towards the object that you're stitching onto, in this case, the facing. No need to clip those top parts right here because they're straight enough that the clipping is not going to do much. Only on the curves you really want to do the clipping. It doesn't hurt to clip though. Yeah. Just making sure it's all onto that facing. So remember, I'm doing this a little bit backwards of the instructions because I'm gonna finish my shoulders later. I do think I have to face my invisible zipper fear in front of you guys though today. I'm gonna hem my facing. Am I gonna hem my facing? No, I'm gonna wait until it's sewn to the back. Okay. All right, so let's do the skirt now. And we do the pockets first, right? Okay, so what is it that the back is a triple notch, right? And the front's a double? Right, Christy? I know, I love understitching too. It's almost more satisfying than top stitching. There's just something about like pushing it and top stitching it. Yeah, definitely. Okay, this is what the heck is that? What the heck is that big old friggin' slit I put in there? All right, let's put our, I'm just looking for my side seam notches. That's the center back. There we go, for my pocket. Okay, so I'm gonna put one pocket on first. I'm just leaving the skirt stacked on top of it. The seam really wants the edge really wants to stretch out because it's on the bias. I'm just trying to decide if this pocket opening is dinky. No wonder this dress feels kind of dinky. I'm going to go like an inch below. I'm going to sew between the notches, but I'm going to go a little bit past that notch. We'll just go the width of my ruler past. Sorry here. I did get my thumb on there. Exactly, Marsha. You are the boss. You got to let it know who's boss. That is so my motto. You let it know who's boss. My sewing, I'm not kidding you guys. Like I was 25 years old. I'd moved to a new town. I had gotten that job at the fabric store, and the one I had to make the like paper quilt for. Remember that as my application? Well, they said I could make whatever I wanted. They gave me the piece of paper, and I just sewed whatever I wanted. And I just remember like being around such great sewists, and the owner of that store was very much a perfectionist and very much a snob about certain things. And she would say that herself. She's very much a snob about fabric and fibers, country of origin, all that kind of thing. I learned a lot working there. Really opened my eyes. And I just remember at one point just being at home, sitting there sewing, and I was making whatever, and I just remember going, no, I refuse to accept what the machine just did. I did not tell it to do that. That is not what I wanted. I want my money back. And so I took it out and I just sat there and I was like, no, this is my project. And once I did that, like, my sewing improved drastically. It's like, you know, it's kind of that take no prisoners kind of attitude towards it, you know? It's like I just didn't accept what it had given me. It's the only time I get a little bit ragey in my sewing, like, you know, like in video games. When I'm like, I'm telling you to freaking do this and you better do it. That's when I get a little upset, when I'm like, hey, you know. I'm only comparing my back to my front because I lengthened my pocket opening. You know? All right, where is it? Okay. I got that one a little lower than I planned. You don't want your opening to be like the depth of your pocket, because then your stuff's just going to fall out. But, you know. Should have notched it. All right. I'm just going to clip it this time. There we go. I'm kind of keeping my skirts together just because that way I don't have 4 skirts floating around on my table right now, because they all look really similar since they're not on the center fronts aren't on the fold because of the bias here. So I feel like if I start peeling these apart, I'm going to get the backs confused with the front. That's why I'm kind of being diligent about just kind of keeping them like that. You know, as long as I don't sew one to the other, it's fine. Keeps it tidier. Okay. So now I can do one to the other. My presser foot crashing down. Gets so impatient. She's just like, I can't hold the presser foot up any longer. All right, so I feel like I'm sewing my pockets a little different than I usually do, and it's just because I'm following the directions. I actually like this method because they sometimes look a little bit more invisible. And so I'm sewing my side seam. I'm going to sew around the pocket bottom. I just realized something. You know what it is? I make my pockets usually go to the waist, and I didn't this time. And I really like it when they're sewn into the waist seam because they always stay forward, you know? I just noticed that I didn't do that. Bummer. Exactly. Yeah, that's awesome, Ida. You're like coaxing it. You're like, all right, let's negotiate, machine. What do you need from me in order to make my dreams come true and you stay happy? I feel you on that. Like, I've totally done that too. Like, all right, you want me to sew a little bit over here and you want me to have a wider seam allowance. Okay, I get it. That's what I feel like my serger's doing. I need to kind of coax it back into the cover stitch. Exactly, Ida. Yes, Marsha, this is the fabric. It's a scary face, Christy. Yeah, she's a little unhappy. I'll show you just a second. Let's see. I don't even see one here. They're really hard to see. Yes, this is the fabric with the weird face. It's funny, a lot of your emoticons for you, representing you, are coming up same color, so. All right. Let's see if I can find one. Oh, here she is. You see her? She's gardening, so she's got her little pruners. She's very infrequent. She's kind of poking in my pocket right there. You can see she's got a little gardening smock on. Did I sew these pockets wrong? I feel like I sewed these pockets wrong. I feel like I sewed them wrong. I'm going to go to my seam right there. Beautiful. Okay. Back. Front. All right. You love those pruners. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a good shot of her. Like someone said, you're not even going to notice her. So you could probably just be random with where you place her. And I think they're right. You see her? Yeah, so this is the Ghastly's family. They've got this cult following. They're fun. But if you saw the other fabrics that they are on, they're not in these colors. They're usually really muted and kind of Halloweenish. Kind of like dusky rose color and mossy green and black. And they're very much a, you know, subdued color palette usually. Just lining up my side seam there. I'm doing this in honor of this customer I had. I haven't emailed her yet because she used to make me make everything in my line in Ghastly's, and so every time there was a new season, which was like once a year at least, she would send me this stack of fabric by them, every single print in the line, and she would say she was really into this little girl that holds a hammer. Hammer Girl. She called her Hammer Girl. She's like, I want Hammer Girl on the front of this needle case. I'm like, all right. And me and Rayanne got really adept at cutting around, but the motifs are gigantic. Like sometimes there'd be this whole family sitting at a dining room table with portraits on the wall, you know, and we'd have to fit that on a project. It wouldn't even fit on our biggest items. So it definitely presented a fun factor, but also a challenge in dealing with. This is the most normal, I would say, or easy to use of their prints so far that I've seen, and I've seen all of them. So I feel kind of bad that I closed Chicken Boots when this this line came out because they're all knitting and sewing related. Yeah, they're only quilters cotton. Yeah, that I know of. Actually, I don't know that. I don't know, Christy. I've only seen the quilters cotton. I can't see these being made in apparel weights, but heck, I'm kind of surprised they're being made in quilter weights. But I saw this really cute quilt made at the little sewing club that I went to once. They haven't had a meeting yet, so I haven't missed another one. But she was making this quilt. I can't remember, like, was it all houses or something? But she was using a lot of these Ghastly elements in them, and it was amazing. I wanted it. Yeah, I feel like I sewed these wrong, but I turned it around. Just looking at my pocket. I don't want it to be baggy, you know. There we go. Invisible. That's what I like. All right, so I'm going to top stitch my seam open, but I'm gonna iron it open first. It's a little tricky with the It's a little tricky with the pocket being in the way, but I'm just going to do my best to top stitch around it. I may have to clip it, so. Yo. I'm gonna lose this little guy. Let me move that there. All right, let's do our front seams on the skirts. What is this? This is the bodice. Oh wait, I'm top stitching. What the heck? I almost forgot. I keep checking my back and front because the triple notch is throwing me off. Okay. So here's my, I'm gonna just make a box right there. Oh, that got a little wide. The seam, because it's so thick with all the pocket layers, it pushed my presser foot off. There we go. I'll do the same coming up from the hem. Try not to get any of that torquing I talk about. See, because I can't remember who was asking me about reinforcing my underarm. Because I do this, and it's not enough. For some reason. Sometimes the more you, stitch something and reinforce it, the more vulnerable it gets. A good example of this is ripstop nylon. Was it so too quiet? I'm not sure you guys can hear me, so I didn't talk. It is kind of a nice thing. It's funny, I'm not a big fan of cooking, but I like washing dishes, and I actually like ironing. I used to not really like it. I used to be like, but now I'm kind of like, sometimes I'll just put on like a gaming stream and just iron. Or I do find it kind of satisfying, you know. But like ripstop nylon, I don't know why they call it that, because all it does is rip. Ripstop nylon, all it does is rip. It's the last fabric I ever want to use. And when I worked in the outdoor industry, we never, ever used ripstop. We would sometimes use a Supplex, which is a brand name, and kind of in that ripstop family, but it didn't have the, like, ripstop has those little squares. The thing that they say is, oh, if it rips, it stops at one of those cross seams. But the thing is, the fabric rips so easily. Like, who cares if it stopped ripping? It started ripping. And let me tell you, in your your active pants, the last thing you want is a rip in your butt. Did I just push that the wrong way? Wait. Where's my... This is the front. Oh, I did. What the heck? I might have to do that top one over again. I want to sew some outerwear. I don't really need it, but I like sewing it. Lots of seams, lots of pieces, you know. It doesn't stop ripping. Exactly. It doesn't stop ripping. I don't know what the heck the logic is. That fabric was, oh, that's kind of bad. That fabric was kind of in the industry when I got there. I do remember it coming onto the scene, like, God, like, not for home sewers, but, you know, it was kind of, I feel like it came on the scene in the 80s. And, but I wasn't really paying attention at the time to find out, like, what the whole philosophy was behind it. Look at that. See that? Can you guys see that? I don't think you can see that. But my machine got a little bogged down right there because this is nice and thick and the other side is a little thin, and the machine was kind of like, I don't like that. And so it started going a little slower. It started, like, not pulling, like, feeding the fabric in there. The feed dogs kind of quit. Or just did it slower, so then they got really tiny, which is very hard to pull out. That's why you don't want really short stitch lengths. The irony of being a new sewer is that a new sewer, and I've been guilty of this, does really short stitch length because they're so worried their garment's going to fall apart. Like, they don't have faith in sewing yet. They don't have that kind of trust or experience to know that, man, sewing is a super sturdy. It's a lock stitch. You know, there's an upper thread and a bottom thread. It's not like a chain stitch. And so they put their stitch length really small, but they're also seam ripping a little bit more than someone who's sewn more. And it's so much harder to seam rip, you know? Oh, I've made an anorak before. That would be really fun. Do you guys have a pattern in mind? I've seen, like, the couple I see in, like, the popular indie companies, I'm not a big fan of them. But there are other less, like, there have been indie pattern companies around, especially in the outerwear industry, probably longer than home sewing for people. Like green pepper. Anyone know green pepper? They haven't changed a thing about their pattern envelope styling. It's pretty adorable. They're still like these hand-drawn things. I've made their cagoule. I'm just being absolutely sure since I did that wrong the first time. There we go. So in case you missed it, I had pushed my pocket towards that way when it needed to be pushed this way when I sewed this little upper part. That's why I took that out. Just that tiny little bit it caught at the bottom really was making it struggle to stay towards the front. This is at least going to help that, even though, because I kind of screwed up not putting it into the waist seam, you know. It's not a tall enough pocket for that. The Joy Jacket, one of the big four have one. Hi, Julia. How's it going? Nice seeing you. We're sewing an Amelia dress if you hadn't gathered. I feel like all I talk about is this dress right now. The Sarah jacket, or is it the Sierra? The Sade tunic from Breaking Pattern Book. Oh, I don't know what that one. Hello, Megan. How's it going? Sade, maybe? Kelly or Mineral. Look at you guys all have these like, oh, by the way, let's sneak up on Sarami and have her sew an anorak. And we're going to throw 7 patterns at her that we've all been wondering about. Yeah, that's an awesome idea, Rachel. We should totally do a Kelly anorak for an autumn sew along. Maybe a late summer. Here's my philosophy on when you sew things. If you sew your fall things in the summer, then they're ready to go when fall hits. You know? Nice, Julie. I'm so glad. I know. Instagram, it's like for most streamers, they're using Twitter. But there's not a lot of sewing going on in the Twitter world. There are a lot of them there tweeting. Yeah, I totally agree, you guys. Okay, let's stop dilly-dallying. Stop dilly-dallying. Okay, here's my skirt. This is the center front seam. Yeah, I like that idea, doing an anorak. We'll pick one maybe, because I'm not sewing 4. And so you guys, when you are talking to someone in chat, you can actually tag them with their username, and it might highlight easier for them just in case they look away to surf Instagram while they're watching, you know. I know none of you do that. So my lovely graphic artist has had some things come up in her life, not to mention she's getting married. And she's needs to set my stuff aside. And this already happened to me before. So I'm kind of like, how important is it? You know what I mean? I think you just put the @ symbol. Maybe YouTube is different. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure you just put the @ symbol and their tag. So they would put Addie at Sadie Josie Mom. A fall Kelly sew along. So you guys are already picking the Kelly anorak. I'm not a fan of that one. But I really love the fun idea of the lining, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna iron this center front seam. See if you can hear me. I have the microphone on the iron cam, so I don't know. Can you guys still hear me over here? I'm kind of far away too. I have so many cameras, but I'm not getting another microphone. I can't plug in another USB already. I need a sugar daddy for sewing. A sugar mama. Or maybe it's for streaming. The sound is fine? Really? You know what I think it was before? Thank you for telling me that. Hello, Sandy. I decided that I won't sew outerwear because I want all the lightweight functional fabric, waterproof, mini pockets, and so on. You can make it waterproof. I just sound a little far away. Yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, are they really, Julia? All the Australian and New Zealand fabric shops getting good. That's true. You're orange. What did you do? You guys are so funny. Yeah, because she tagged you. So it's easier to like scan the chat and be like, oh, someone talked to me. That's why. Minoru is lined and has a stowaway hood. That'll be fun. I'll have to show you my rain gear that I designed and made. I didn't sew it though. Like I was working somewhere. They made me one for me when I left, you know. It's delaminating now. It's so old and it got so much use. Just sewing down my seams since I'm not doing any seam finishing. Nothing like triple sewing a seam, right? Make it take triple the time. But you guys gotta admit, this dress is going by pretty quick. Like, even though I'm triple sewing it. Coat that fits, shoulders, biceps, shoulders. Yeah, totally. So one of my favorite outerwear fabric companies to shop from is the Rain Shed. Not Rain Shed, the Rain Shed, and they're in Oregon. Because they have actual, real outerwear fabrics from all the big name companies. And I know that for a fact because we've sold to them before. And their site, it's a little like basic, but the educational part of it's really good. It's really great to understand. I'm pretty sure I gathered this up. I'm not a big fan of the gathers, but I'm putting them in. I'm going to put 2 rows. I'll go on the other side of that. Right? There's gathers in 4 spots. Let me check. Oh, that would be fun, Sandy. I love contrast top stitching. Like, you mean like red or black on? Oh, on this. Yeah, that's true. Black top stitching, that would have been fun. Then I would have had to make sure I was straight, though. I don't know about that. You're going to make me do the straight thing. Oh, wait, they don't even show. Okay. Wait, let's just look at the picture. Oh, yeah. Front. Well, there's no back view. Yeah, there's gathers front and back. Okay. Just making sure. Right, I know, Rachel. Especially if you buy from Patagonia, their sleeves are really, really long. Okay, where's my marks up here? Because we all know. Look at how huge what the heck happened there? There's one. It's tiny. Look at that, tiny. Happens to the best of us, right? It's like, I bet this layer was a little far under there, so I was like, oh, I gotta go a little further. Look at that. Guess my dress is gonna dip down right there. What the heck? Let's see where those go. Okay, I'm just putting in, I'm being a good girl, putting in 2 rows. I like the way the gathers look better too. I didn't put in a basting stitch. It's too short of a distance. I don't really need that. And I'll most likely forget to put it back, you know, so. What the heck, man? What the heck with the inch-long notch? SMH. I love the little SMH emoji. She's just like, it says it all. All right. You guys are having fun with the tagging now, aren't you? Yeah, right, Rachel? Exactly. See, so that's why I like a lot of knitters will stop knitting in the summer, and I totally get it. Like they want to be out in the garden or whatever, right? But when I lived somewhere kind of chilly, I knit all summer long because I really wanted those sweaters available to wear when it got colder, meaning 10 degrees because literally the temperature where I lived was 10 degrees different summer and winter, but it felt like a big difference to us. Now my temperature where I live will fluctuate 30 degrees in a day easily. It's weird what you can get used to. It's weird when you are aware of things like that and you start learning about microclimates and temperate and all that. It's fascinating. But I see all the like sew-alongs that, and I feel like, like that, the Jessica blazer, I thought that was amazing. And I remember distinctly thinking, well, maybe I'll think about doing that for fall, you know? But a lot of people need a blazer like that year round because of where they work. So it was, for them, that's a year-round thing. And I do see a lot of people starting to sew swimwear. I would do that with you guys, but I even have a pool, but I literally have swimsuits with tags on them, and I don't get in my pool. I know that feels just so, ugh. Okay, I don't know what I dropped, but oh well. Oh, the wax fabric. Yeah, I actually would be down for a wax thing. I don't really need it, but I like the way it looks. This is I want all my little threads to go into the waist. Let's see how it all lines up. Time for some pie. So I downloaded InDesign and I'm trying to learn how to use it to do my patterns. I need encouragement. Send me cookies or something. I just want to get whiny about it. But I'm doing it, you guys. I'm attacking it. I'm trying not to get down about it. But I am eating way more snacks because of it. Marsha, you might look at Blackbird Fabrics. Also, oh yeah, Mood's a good one. I can't remember, Marsha. Are you in the States or the UK? You're looking for an olive twill. Where did I see some? I can think of a wholesale source, but you don't want 200 yards of it, right? So I'm just pinning all my anchor points right now. So I did the center back, the side seam, center seam, and then you can see like I gathered that a little too much, so I'll just release that a little bit. And then it just kind of wants to fit. Look at my nice wide seam allowance there. All right. Oh, I thought you were in California, but I didn't. I try and keep track of all you guys. I kind of want my chat to stay small so I know you all. But we're going to need more viewers if we're going to keep going. So like Megan, like I haven't sewn with the wax fabrics much either, but I have sewn a lot with vinyl. And it similarly like grabs the machine and the presser foot a little bit. So my tip, if you ever get a piece of it, because you can get swatches of it. That's what I would do. You can order swatches from Blackbird. I know that for sure. Maybe fabric.com if they have a wax canvas. And at least you can buy a swatch for like $1.50 and then play with it and see how it is on your machine. I've only used it from a wholesale source because I thought about adding it to chicken boots and I didn't. Because right then a competitor did it and I was like, okay, great, they're doing it. I don't need to do it. I never was one to just be like, oh, they're doing really good with that product. Let me make one. I don't see the point in that. It's partly why I was successful. I did my own thing, So I didn't end up going to production in it, so I don't have a ton of experience with it, I admit. But I did find when I was sewing with vinyl that I had to have a Teflon foot. If I didn't have a Teflon foot, so I'm going to stick this seam allowance above this one and get rid of this crazy ass thing I got going on here. Excuse my language. You can tell I'm a little disappointed in myself there. Hey, good thing the dress is on the bias because it will kind of get stretched out. Okay, I need to get back to my half-inch. But if you don't have a Teflon foot, which I wouldn't be surprised if you don't, I used a piece of tape. I would put a piece of tape on my presser foot, like just lift out my presser foot, put a piece of Scotch tape on there, really push it down. Then I took the like soft side of a nail file and I would get rid of all the like edges hanging off, all the little angles and curves of my presser foot. And that would last for a while. And it was a really great way to have a fake Teflon foot for those sticky fabrics like that. Noodlehead, who is a bag designer, really great bag designer. She makes a lot of her patterns intended for either wax canvas or other fabrics. And she gives a lot of really great tips on how to sew with it. So she might have some on her website, Noodlehead, so you don't have to buy one of the patterns. Maybe on her blog or something. But yeah, I have a purse that's made out of wax canvas, but I actually did sew a pocket into it, but I didn't have to touch the wax canvas. Still making sure all my threads I pulled were on the top side. I could see why pulling your bobbin threads is useful because then you can see them on this side. And when I go to remove them, it would be easier if I'd used the bottom. Wait, is my dart pushed the right way? Yeah. All right. Oh, wish. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, Merchant and Mills. You hate their That's funny. Hey, really, Brooke? Thank you for saying that. What I didn't get, like right off the bat, I wanted to put a picture. I just wanted to like open a picture inside the document and I couldn't scale it. And I was like, what the heck is going on with this? I use elements all the time. I'm really good at it. And then I found that you had to do something called place. So place, and then you open up a file and put it there. Like, why can't they have the same language across their things, you know? Oh, there you go. Marsha, she put some wax, dark olive wax cotton twill. I don't know if she was looking for wax cotton. Yeah. Oh, merino wool. Let me think about that. You looking for a jersey? I'm gonna pull out all my gathering stitches. So they don't show on the outside. Yeah, I do have a pool, and you will be disappointed in me that I've gotten in it 5 times since I've lived here. It just feels so decadent, you know. My husband and daughter were all about it. And I said, this is like probably the cattiest thing I've ever said in my life. I just said, all right, you guys, here's the deal. I'm never going to take care of the pool. I'm never going to set, I might go in there. I may use it a couple times, but I don't want a house with a pool. If you guys really want a pool, it's your guys' thing. You know, like that mom thing you say. This is your project. This is your dog to feed. This is your pool to take care of. And I stuck with it, you guys. I'd never set foot in there. Yeah, that's exactly, Malin. I was going to say merino jersey is really easy to find in New Zealand. And I do have a source for that. I have to dig up the book, and it is a retail source. But you could probably find some really nice merino there. All right, so let's see what my bodice looks like. So I'm not a big fan of how small the gathers are. I find them poofy. I almost would rather slash and spread this skirt and make it a little bit more, just a tad more A-line. Take out the gathers at the waist. You're filling it this year? Awesome, Julia. I hope you have fun with it. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to trim that one weird spot of my seam allowance right here. Look at it. Wham! Okay. My pool does have a slide, and it's awesome. I've used the slide a lot. Like, I love stuff like that. It's really fun. It has a diving board, too. This is the thing about my pool. It's 12 feet deep. Can you even imagine what a 12-foot deep pool is like? 12 feet, you guys. So the people who built it probably were divers. Oh, you're filling it with dirt. I'm so jealous. We've talked about it, but it adds so much value to our house. You know, like I said, it's hotter than Hades here. I'm going to top stitch my waist seam, and I'm going to push it up to the bodice when I do that. When we were looking at houses for sale, you guys, there was this very nice ranch style house. In California, ranch style homes are very common. And it was a little bit like the style that I'm not kind of into. It was very kind of, for lack of a better word, it was kind of shishi. It was a little like, here's our entryway, you know, from the outside, one of those kinds of houses. But when we went to look at it, and we went through the gate to the yard. What the heck's going on there? Is that my gathers? Really? That's all I got? Holy heck. We were instantly like, oh, these people were not into their shishi house. They transformed it, and they did permaculture gardening all throughout their huge yard. It was shady and cool and very natural, kind of wild and overgrown, but still not weedy or anything like that. It was beautiful. And then they took their pool, which was very modern looking, with a diving board and one of those waterfalls. Like it was like a rectangular thing where the water came down and a sheet into it. Very modern. I'm sure you can picture that. They turned the whole dang pool, full-size pool, into a koi pond. With a diving board. But the pond was amazing. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, exactly, Julia. We are, yeah, my husband does the maintenance, and it'll be gorgeous, and then overnight it'll turn green. Like, oh. It's hard to keep it balanced. With all the pollen here, my nice brand new blue truck is yellow right now with pollen. So... yeah, exactly. If we put a cover on our pool, it heats up really fast. But no one's using it anyway. So, pool. Yeah, well, it gets 100 degrees here quite often. All right, so I've top stitched my waist seam. We're getting closer and closer to that zipper that you guys aren't going to let me not do, I'm sure. See, I have my own little fears. This almost looks like intentional, eh? All right. But I just didn't like that little, like, what the heck? Why do I have hardly any gathers on that one? Maybe removing the basting seam wasn't a good idea in this case because there's so few gathers. But I'm just double checking it all. My seams are lining up good. My top stitching, not so much. What I've been finding is when I've been doing that is the presser foot's getting pushed off of the seam, so I'm not being very accurate, plus I'm talking. So, yeah, the koi pool. Can you imagine diving in, though, on that diving board? Lily pads blooming and everything. It was beautiful. So, exactly, Nancy. Toe nibblers, right? Isn't that a thing in salons? No thanks. All right. I just got confused looking at that. All right. So, let's see here. Now we're going to do the zipper. We're going to do the zipper, and then I let it hang. Yeah, it is a thing. Having your fish nibble your... I don't know if it's still a thing. Okay, I'm going to look at my waist seam here, see, make sure it's lining up. Because with the bias, it's going to be it's already easy to get off, right? Okay. So when you do an invisible zipper, you don't sew below the zipper first. You do that the very last thing. They eat the dead skin. Poor fish. Like, come on, there's better things to eat, you know? I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Rachel. Yeah, invisible zipper. The pool is really, like, when little kids are enjoying it, it's really fun. Like, when my niece and nephew come, they make me so thrilled I have a pool. Like, they make it all worthwhile. Their little faces. Plus, they live in Upper Washington State, and so it's cold there, you know. All right, so I'm going to follow the little tutorial I saw, and I'm going to put some interfacing along the center back of my invisible zipper. So I'm gonna move over here. I already cut my interfacing here. Look at my facing. Look, it just blends in. Good thing there's that pink on there. Okay, so I don't really want to I want to make sure I don't stretch out my back there, because remember, it's all in the bias. So I'm just going to try and get it to relax. You can see it kind of bowing out like that because of the bias. So this was her little tip, and I'm just going to do her instructions, and I'll actually link this little tutorial I found in the description when I'm done, because I found it really useful, and I'm all about giving props to other people. They've already done the work. I'm not going to just copy exactly their method and then not say I didn't get the idea from them. I have put in plenty of invisible zippers, but I would really like to get better at it, because I haven't done very many to hone my techniques, and I haven't watched a lot of other people do it. And no one's ever taught me how. So it's time to figure it out myself. All right, I'm actually going to match my center back seam first before I iron that one in place. This iron camera is better quality, isn't it? I just switched it to a real one. See, look at that. See how that's lower? This one's iron, that one's not. So that's what I'm worried about right now. Let's get that in there. Stabilize it. I can ease a lot in there with that bias. Pretty amazing, huh? This will help my waist seam match up at least too. Worth the effort. So her little tip also was to use pinking shears along one edge, and if you were using like a sheer fabric for your dress, it helps this be more invisible. I didn't quite understand what she was referring to, but I just thought I'd say that. You guys, they are special fish. They love that stuff. Gleaners, okay. Yeah. They clean other fish. Oh, that's true. I think I have seen that. Oh, I know, Marsha, when they like scrub my feet in a pedicure and I go for my daughter. Oh. Yeah, exactly. When you sew bias, you can lay the pattern piece out to use as a template. You mean like if I was cutting something else out? I have done that with the interfacing. Big in Japan. That's right. You're right. It's a fusible interfacing strip. Yeah, it's a better camera right now. Yeah. We can watch the tutorial together if you guys want. It was cute. Angela, her name is Angela Wolf, and she did it for Blueprint. So if you search invisible zipper Blueprint, you'll find it. Blueprint without an E. All right, so the easiest thing to do wrong with an invisible zipper is what I found is to put it on backwards, because it's really easy. So this is how I want it, right? Let's just get the facing off of here and out of the way. You know? We're going to do that later after my dress is stretched. I can attach I'm going to attach the facing after I put the zipper on. I will say I can zip this dress up by myself, but having help is a lot easier. And like I said the other day, I went all day without my dress zipped up all the way. I couldn't tell until I went home to take it off. So, oh right, yeah. But you know, did you see that my dress, like one side was already, because I think I ironed that one side. The ironing made it shrink a tiny bit. Plus, it had already like stabilized it, and so I just was gonna follow that other one. Okay, so this is the right side of the zipper. This is the right side of the garment, and so it's a good idea so you don't confuse yourself to pin it on there. Where's my pie? Oh, it's right here. Where's my pie? And I saw several people, and she does this, and I saw several people in the comments say, even though she did that, I still sewed my zipper on wrong. Oh, I forgot to iron my zipper. I need to iron the zipper. Sorry. So an invisible zipper, it curves. See that? Curves over the seam, and that's why it gets a little invisible. I gotta turn down my iron so I don't melt the teeth. And you can see right here, I don't know if you can see if it's focusing, but there's a little line right there, and that's your stitch line. And then the zipper wraps around it, making it look invisible on the right side of the garment. Don't burn yourself. It's kind of hard to do. You also want a zipper 2 inches longer than the opening you're going to create. So I think I needed a 22-inch zipper. This is only 20. I'm going to use it and make my zipper 2 inches shorter. So if you do this, don't iron it and then stop sewing for the day. Just iron it when you're ready to go. You could totally do a hook and eye at the top. I don't. Yeah, exactly. I like the little keyhole at the top. I think it's cute. Where the heck is my, there it is. This dress feels like a lot right now. A lot of dress on the table. Okay, so I'm going to zip it back up. It really is hard to tell when you're just looking at your teeth which is the right and the wrong side. But look, it's ironed, so it's standing straight up. It's pretty funny. So I'm going to try and get my teeth to land, the top of the zipper to land at this top seam line so I don't have to have the hook in the eye. I'm just going to pin that on there. Open it up. Open my dress up. And if your seam allowance is a 1/2 inch or 3/8 of an inch or whatever, you want the teeth to land there. I'm not gonna pin. Oh, but I do need to switch. I'm gonna switch to my zipper foot. I never do that, but I'm going to do it this time. Hopefully that's okay. Oh, here's my Teflon foot, by the way. See those grooves? There's grooves getting into it from the sewing, so you do need to like replace these over time. Oops, other side. Yeah, actually, I'm going to look and see if my foot... Yeah, my foot won't do that. My foot's too soft. Like, it's too narrow right here. Like, a regular presser foot on a home sewing machine is probably going to do a better job than mine if you don't have a zipper foot. But I know you guys all have probably really nice zipper feet with the grooves on the side. Look at mine. Mine is just a narrow thing. Trying Trying not to slam that on my finger. Let's see if I can do this without pinning. Maybe I'll put in a few. I don't really need it. Okay. So this is all tape right here. There's teeth right there. It helps to thread the needle. Oh, yeah. Your machine came with an invisible precipice. So you can buy, go down. Oh my gosh. You can buy a invisible foot kit for your machine. It didn't work for mine. I have a Bernina 140. A knit fabric. So this dress, are you asking if you could make this dress in a knit fabric so you wouldn't have to do a zipper? It's a good question. You would have to size down. So I'm sewing on that little seam, that little line, which you might not be able to see. There you go. Oh God. Can it focus, please? You see this little line of stitching there? My foot is just narrow enough to be able to make it. Barely though. Like I still feel like I might get that gap I don't like. Hand sewing. Shush. I'm not quite on that line. Do you see that? So I do feel like I might end up still having that gap, but maybe once my zipper folds over, it'll help. Let's hope. Oh my goodness, what are you guys saying? Oh, nice, Christy. Oh, that's awesome, Christy. What am I doing? Focus, focus, focus. Okay. All right, so I'm going to zip up my zipper. I'm just doing this because I really want to make sure that I, of course, don't sew the wrong side of my zipper. These are really easy to get twisted and weird because they are kind of a weird zipper. And like I say, I ensure success, right? What the heck am I doing here? Wow, because the shoulders aren't sewn, the dress is just so, here we go. Okay. I was like, why do I have the center back of the skirt? And it doesn't help that I have this one bobbin thread coming out of my little drawer there. Okay, so let's do this. I would really like this all to line up, please, Sewing Fairy. If you could just manage to accommodate that, please. Thanks. Well, you know what? I haven't set up the Sewing Fairy shrine yet. Whoo! I'm in for it right now. All right. Okay, I know, sorry, I have this big old mess going on here. It looks way better in her video. Okay. Because, see, this is my back of my dress right here. Back of my dress. Just like that. And let's zip it up a little. And let's I just want to mark where the waist seam is. That's still trying to get big right there. Let's see if I can ease that in. Look at this ink. I don't know. All right, so one of the important things about setting an invisible zipper, and I love how she reiterated this because I knew this and I never really made it a priority, was you really need where you stop sewing the zipper on both sides to be directly across from each other. And if you don't, you need to go back and kind of like make sure. It'll make the invisibility at the bottom of the zipper on the outside way more effective. She illustrates it really well. It doesn't want to go past my pin here. Here we go. Okay. Do I look fumble-fingered yet? The snapping buttons intimidate you? Yeah. I could see that. Fear. Lining? No. Okay, wait. How did she do it? Did she do this from the top? What the heck? Ouch. I think she did do this at the top, from the top. I just pinned my... Let's see how I do. This feels wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Don't want my zipper to flip around though. I'm just gonna get it going. There we go. Okay. Trying to tame that bias a little bit. Good thing I did that interfacing. I think I would have ignored that step if I were rogue, you know. It feels really weird to sew with this on the right side, but it's actually behaving pretty well. So. Have you, Julia, I just saw your Iza Mitsurahi comment. He's so interesting. I love that guy. My husband bought me this jacket by Desi Gall. Have you guys heard of him? Or her? I'm not sure, the company. He bought it for me in San Francisco. It's pretty amazing. I've worn it maybe once. It can be a dress too. It is definitely a show-stopping piece. It's black and white, and it has these huge pink Gerbera daisies going up it. They're huge, you know? And it's on printed on a nylon, so it definitely makes a lot of noise when I'm wearing it. You're going to watch the tutorial video and the link when I make it, and you're going to be like, huh, Starmy really made that look a lot harder. I'm still learning. Okay, so supposedly this is where I want to end. And that's directly across. Okay. Yeah, snaps are actually pretty easy. And I'm pretty sure they're more forgiving if you do them wrong. Whereas like a rivet or a tack button, when you go to remove that, they leave a mighty hole. All right, let's check. I'm procrastinating. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Oh, my waist seam matches, but look at that gap. That's not invisible. See, I'm not close enough to that edge. I can't get there. I need a better foot. I need a better foot. All right, so I'm sewing it well, but I'm not getting close enough to the zipper teeth for it to roll over, unless it's just not rolling back yet, which is very possible since I ironed the heck out of it. I just don't think it's gonna iron much more than that, or go. Yeah, it's not folding back on itself yet. Maybe I ironed too much of it. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a little closer. You think that's different or dangerous? You love the idea of smelling now. Nancy, that's your sewing fairy. It is a framed black and white print of Godzilla. I can dig that. Maybe it's my girl with the one tear coming out of her eye. Well, you guys probably can't see that because it's behind that computer monitor. Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom. I'm gonna go a little closer. I got this. I'm gonna let it know who's boss, and that's me. Oh, that's so close to the teeth. This is where I get into trouble. This isn't changing. Oh, I don't know about this, guys. It's the boss of me right now. No. So terrible. So terrible. I just want to see if that little bit was effective if I do it that way. Let's see. I mean, yeah. Okay. So that's not too close. Cause see, this side's okay and that side's not. All right. I'm learning. Okay. Let's do this. Let's see. I know it's supposed to be really close to the teeth, but my zipper foot doesn't allow me to put the needle to the left of the foot. So I have to have this little guy in the way. I have this foot, but this is so slippery, you know? Maybe I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I take it out, right? This is kind of one of my last steps of the day anyway. This dress goes together pretty quickly, even though I triple sew it. Oh, this one's a little thicker. And then I take my foot off the foot pedal while I do it. I'm not going to sew myself in front of you guys. Don't worry. This might be the absolute worst foot, or maybe it'll be helpful. Yeah, I tried that, Marcia, but it knocks it off. That's why I didn't use my other foot, because my metal foot isn't very wide, and I don't have any grooves. See that? Like, most zipper foot, the invisible zipper foot actually has a groove right here for it to ride along it. And if you don't have one of those, even with regular zipper foot, at least you can put the needle to the left of the foot so that this can go right up against it, you know? If I didn't need the pressure of the presser foot, I would just take it off and sew it that way, but that ain't happening. Let's try this. Let's try. Okay, this is working. It sounds weird. This is working really good. Who would have known my Teflon foot would have been the ideal invisible zipper foot? Will you guys remind me of this next time? Yeah. Okay, let's do this side. Let's hope I don't have to take it out because it'll be triple stitched. Yikes. This is so much easier than that zipper foot, you guys. This is what a try hard looks like right now because I am trying hard. Oh, oh. Let's see how it looks. True test. It's too close. There we go. Okay. Little tight at my waist seam, so that could eventually give me some problems later on because of the thickness there. That's what happened with one of my dresses that I love. And I had to just take out the zipper and put in a new one because it was a little snug on me in the waist there. And so the zipper tape itself started pulling apart right there, you know? And so it wasn't that the zipper was failing. It was that it was having trouble getting past that ratty piece of zipper tape. Ta-da! Yay! Okay, so let's see if my bottom, so see those stitches right there, about a stitch off. So let's make this one over here a couple stitches longer because we want it invisible at the bottom too. I mean, look at, that's my first stitch. Can you see that? That's my first stitch. This is my second stitch. And you see the zipper's covering it up. So this gives you some perspective on how it works. And why my first one was basically a basting stitch. All right, let's get rid of these threads. I don't want them to ever be a problem when I'm zipping up my zipper. My interfacing kind of came shy. Let's get rid of these too. Is the camera okay? I never adjust. I just like yanked it up. Oh, I have an itch. Okay, so let's see. Zip it all up. Oh my gosh. There we go. See that? It was like flipped over. All right, so now we're going to do the center back seam. I'll show you her little instructions, how she does it. So this is when she says, all right, make sure they're the same length. Oh yeah, so let's take out, I'm going to take out one of these stitches right here. I went a little too far. Make sure they're the same. These don't have like very good little tips. Okay. I'm gonna line up my back seam, just kind of get it going here. And you're gonna sew right on the inside edge of that stitching right there, kind of like you do on the pocket opening. Oh, I need to change my foot. I think I'm gonna change it to the zipper foot, and then I'm gonna change it to my regular foot. So sorry about that. It's too thick to use this foot. I'm gonna have to go to the left of it and hope for the best with this foot. Where's my zipper foot? Woo! Hi, Sharon. How's it going? Sharon. Sharon. Look, Sharon. It's a perfect cup for my sewing machine. And he made it. I have my mug here too. Alrighty. So we're going just on the inside of that. Come on, baby. Oh my gosh. Did I forget to tighten it? What the heck happened just now? I took a drink of water. That's what happened, huh? It's just not tight. It was already kind of tight, but it came off. I was like, why is my needle to the right of my foot? Promise not to sew my finger in front of you guys. It really, I've done it like 3 times in my life. Hundreds of thousands of hours on the machine. Only 3 times, you guys, so it's not common. Where's the thread coming from? Okay. All right. Sorry for all the clunking. Pull the zipper teeth out of the way. I'm just going to do a little bit. I'm going to switch to my regular foot because you can tell I don't get as much purchase with my zipper foot on the seam, and I don't really want to stretch out my center back seam because it's on the bias, remember? Your cup distracted me. Exactly. So just so you guys know, I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube right now. And so like Aramis and Sharon are on Twitch talking to me. Most everybody's on YouTube talking to me. Yeah, I know the IKEA fabrics are pretty good. Look at that little thing of grease there on my thread. See how wiggly that is? I'm going to take this out. I'm going to try with my regular foot. I don't like it. I don't like it. Taking it out. I don't like the zipper foot, to be honest. It's good in a pinch, but it's just really not a real zipper foot. All right, here we go. She made this look real easy because she has a groove in her foot. Okay, I'm just gonna miss that. Yeah, there we go. All right, here we go. Back on track. Let's hope that looks pretty invisible on the other side when we get to there. Oh, you did, Siobhan? I'm sorry I missed your stream. Yeah. You do it for an hour? Do you just have a set time that you do it for? What did you do today? Did you spin or did you do pottery? I can't, would pottery, is that possible? That'd be really fun to watch. But it seems kind of hard because it's kind of, isn't it kind of messy in the cameras and getting the computer near it, all that stuff, you know? All right, let's see how I did. The test. Okay. You can see, right? Yeah. I'm happy. There we go. That's it. That's the end right there. Not bad, not bad. No set time, clean studio and doing pottery. Oh, nice. I might look at, I'll check it out. Your streams get uploaded to Twitch, right? They're like sitting there. I've noticed mine are. Yeah, so Sharon's on Twitch, Julia. I've been streaming on both the last couple of weeks. And it's just his first and last name is his Twitch handle if you want to check him out. So he just streamed for an hour. I wonder if Miriam's streaming today. All right, that's my arm. All right, so here we go. Here's my dress. Let's look at it. Look at the whole shebang. Leaving my shoulders open. I like this fabric. You see the girl right there? There she is. This is my V-neck. Yeah, I know I could have had a cream zipper, but I didn't have it. Oh, she is right now? Okay. Yeah, it wasn't too hard, Shadon, to do both. You just need to get a stream key from YouTube and then hook it in Streamlabs. And then I'm using Mob Crush to see both my chats in one window. So she's streaming right now too. Oh, I'll have to figure out how to raid her with my 2 viewers. I don't know how to do it. It says like you can raid people really easily, and you like all your viewers go into there. I know, Malin. I did. I put all of my patterns in Trello that day. And the next day, I didn't actually do the template thing like she did or create like all the like set things. I just created a new card, named it the pattern, and then took the pictures of my front and my back pattern card, and then that was it. And I just went to the next thing. And then I created different boards for each category, like, you know, tops, bottoms, men's, dresses, accessories. So go to twitch.tv. I know rating sounds like fun. It is fun. But you'd have to be on Twitch to do it, Olivia. Like, then everybody, all of the viewers from a streamer's channel go, and then they put in their emotes, and they're like, we're here, we're rating you. And then they, so on twitch.tv, and I'm the same name, So Live. Shouldn't be too hard. And then you can follow channels. So subscribing on there is different than subscribing on YouTube. They're different named. One means a monetary thing. So if you subscribe to someone on Twitch, you're giving them money. So basically you follow me on there. Oh, she's working on her sandals. Nice. And so rating is really fun because maybe the viewers will find a streamer that they've never seen before. I've seen really big streamers like with 30,000 people in their stream rate a tiny channel like me. But in gaming, not in crafting, of course. They're not looking for me. You don't do the templates either, yeah. And so, and it is really fun. Like, it just makes their day, and people give them $5 or whatever, and they, make some money, and they get some new followers. It's cool. It's a great way to kind of lift up the community. I like that kind of aspect, So, and in Twitch, Julia, you can zoom. And you can clip things, clip the last 45 seconds, so you can watch it over and over again. Clip it, meaning like you just like this little section, because you can't rewind, So I like the clipping, and I like that you can zoom. All right, where are we at, guys? I'm going to stitch my center back seam on here. So, and Miriam Felton is on there, and she is Mim is Making is her Twitch handle. I met Aramis in her chat. I don't know if Aramis is really probably like, I don't know about the sewing thing, but it's pretty supportive, which I love. All right, so I'm going to iron my center back seam. I'm not going to hem my dress today. Hi, Carol. You had no clue what you were doing on Twitch last time. I know, it's different. You love this print even more. Nice. Oh, just watch that. I was getting the audio from YouTube. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Twitch is faster. There's less of a delay on Twitch than there is on YouTube. YouTube is like 8 seconds. I think Twitch is 3 or 5. I don't know why that is. You can create more of a delay on Twitch, but I don't. I don't need to. You guys are all pretty tame. So let me iron my center back seam here. I wonder why the zipper needs to be so much longer. Mine is the 2 inches right there. Well, actually, I do know why. It's just easier to sew in. That's what it is. You find the video quality be a little better on Twitch. That's pretty interesting. And there's not much of it as a delay. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll always be on YouTube, you guys. It's just a better, there's just more people accustomed to it, you know. All right, I'm going to sew the center back seam, top stitch it real quick like. I just want to make sure I got my pressure foot on there. That kind of freaked me out. That's one of the more dangerous things that can happen. Your pressure foot falls off as you're sewing, then you're guaranteed to break your needle. Mayhem ensues. So I still can't get my commands to work either, which is so annoying. But I also haven't looked at it since setting it all up. I kind of at that like, okay, I need a break from figuring this out. It is not imperative I do this. Let's see, how far do I go here? The zipper tail is a little bit in the way. I'm just gonna go a little bit up here. But definitely say hi to Miriam. I'll try and figure out how to raid her before I go. So maybe I'll bring 1 or 2 people over there. If she's still streaming. She streams for less time than I do usually. Oh, I got a little too close there. Look at that. Wiggly. Good thing I'm not doing that black thread. I don't know, Malin. I'm using a program I have to pay for to do that. But you could pull up both of your, you can drag a tab. Like say you have a few tabs open on your browser. Grab that tab and drag it off of your browser and it'll create a whole nother internet portal, so to speak. And then you can do that as many times as you like, and then you could have your chats kind of next to each other. You know what I mean? I can show you on my computer if you want. And the other thing you can do is you can anchor them to your screen, which is how I have mine right now. So I have my feed of my video on one side and my chat on the other. And so what I do is I grab the top bar of the window, and when I drag it all the way off the screen, it'll immediately go toonk, and it just anchors to the side. That's about as sophisticated as I can get. I just like it because then one doesn't go on top of the other. Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah, that's the only way I think you can do it. Because I'm paying for an app called Mob Crush, and I don't think that you need to go that far, you know. That way you can flip back and forth and talk them both. Look at you. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's put on my facings on the back neck. That way I can enclose the top zipper seam here into the seam. Oh, I already trimmed this, didn't I? Good thing I could still see my sewing lines. I may not have allowed that for my zipper. I may dip down a little bit. Forgot about that. I think we lost Julia. Oh, there you are. Oh, it looks like, oh, dang, I wanted to raid her. I wasn't trying to figure out how. Well, maybe I'll just find another crafter to raid. I gotta figure that out. It's kind of fun. Oh, here, I'll understitch this right now. And then when I fold it over, I'm going to do that. You know? Okay. Oh, is she still working on her sandals? Okay. Yeah, sometimes you see past streams. It is a little bit there's a learning curve. That's what I'll say. Well, I have to sew this. Okay, so because I sewed one back neck facing on and then I removed it and I had trimmed that seam allowance and I didn't do it on here. I sewed my back the same on both, right? So I don't even know if I can explain what I did. So I have to sew this at a 1/4 inch seam now because I want my back neck to line up, which is kind of interesting. That might be why my waist was a little tricky to match, because I totally forgot that we'd sewed the facing on there first. Did I try? Oh yeah, I clipped it. I clipped that so quick. There we go. All right, and then once my shoulder seams are connected, I will hem the whole facing. I'm gonna hem it, and then be able to finish the zipper as well. So right now it just looks kind of messy, right? What else can I do? So here's my shoulders. Here. All right, so I need to tell you guys that I'm not streaming on Saturday because of Mother's Day. No apologies, right? Because I really want to spend it with my mom because we do this annual thing at this antique thing, and it's really fun. So I'm sorry about that. I know we have this like dress schedule, but the sew along doesn't start till next week. So I'm not technically late, and I'm sewing more of those dresses. So I think my other fabric will arrive really soon. So I can't remember. Do you guys remember what dress I'm sewing first? Is it the Cali shirt dress or is it the it's not the Myrna, right? Is it the Cali shirt dress? Or the Upton? You got her? Cool. Say hi. I'm gonna try and learn how to raid. Maybe I need to be in the Twitch window. Okay, so we're ready. All I need to do now, I'm going to hang this up on a hanger. So I'll finish this with you guys really soon. By then it'll have hung for a little while. The Cali is the first one? Perfect. Yeah, I know, it's really fun. My mom found a house, so she's really excited to go to the antique fair. She's like, I'm going to get all my things. My mom's been collecting antiques since before I was born. And so she lost all those in the fire. And so she's kind of like, all right, I guess I'm starting this antique thing over again. And it's a fun little fair at this historic ranch. And my dad's actually a blacksmith there. Like he belongs to like a group of blacksmiths, the demonstration group, you know. So I don't think he's blacksmithing that day. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Malin, right? Which dress I do. So, but I need to start promoting it. So I'd really like some other folks to join us in doing it. Not that I'm not sure any of you are sewing the ones I'm sewing though, now that you all voted. But I'm going to have a nice slew of dresses at the end of this month. So that's exciting. All right, so let's figure out what else. You know, I actually need to hem a shirt. Do you guys want to just hang out while I do that? Where is it? I'm binding it, so. My little sample for my binding video, I'm going to just finish the hem here. So I did the armholes and the neckline as part of my binding video. And so I just did a little tank top, a bias cut tank top. And so I ran out of fabric. That's why I pieced together the little hip shoulders there. And Julia's on Twitch. Hello. And you can go into your profile and you can change the capitals of whatever you want in your username and pick your color of how it shows up in Twitch. It all looks yellow to me, but because I'm in a different type of chat window. This is the back. It's the back. All right. That's the back. Okay. I just threw this tank top pattern together for that video and it turned out pretty good. So I'm going to finish it up. Not sure binding it's the best, but yeah, thanks Megan. You're so modern. Now you can watch all the gamer boys game. There's lots of gamer girls too, I should say. There's cooking streams and all kinds of stuff. So what I do is I go to, when I search for channels, you go to the search bar and you can search makers and crafting, and you can actually follow that makers and crafting category. So everybody who's doing making and crafting, like Shadan and Miriam, there's lots of people doing 3D printing, car maintenance, cosplay, all kinds of stuff. Then you'll see when any of them goes live. There are fiber artists and stuff like that on there too. It's just good to distinguish the fact that when you're searching, you can find you can find things that are a channel, like a person who streams, a category, or a game. So there's 3 different ways. So sometimes I'll accidentally, like if someone had makers and crafting as their channel name, you might accidentally follow them and not the category. Because people are always trying to get noticed. So they do crafty things like that, just like they do everywhere. This is the fabric I used on that Azara skirt I made with you guys recently. I had so much extra. Not funny. Yeah, Janice, are you local? Sorry if I've forgotten that. Yeah, it's the one at Patrick Ranch. Yeah, it's really fun. It costs a little bit to get in. And there is food there. It's not a very big thing. Hopefully it's not windy. The poor vendors kind of suffer when it's windy. There is like a little car show that happens. But yeah, it's at Patrick Ranch, which is such a lovely place. These people turned their property into a trust for the community when they passed away, I think. And they wanted it to become a demonstration ranch for the area, because that's what they did. They were ranchers of some sort, or I don't think they had. What did they raise? I'm not sure. Oh, you're up by Portola. Okay, so it's in Chico. Yeah, the museum's pretty cool. I love their little gift store. I've gotten some of the most amazing locally made things. I have these things that, in fact, I'm going to look for more when I'm there. They are this woman. I have no idea who she is. She's not on social media. They're not signed. But she makes these little tiny miniature scenes. And she'll use like a sardine can, an old rusty sardine can. And then she'll put like a house and a garden in there, and they're all made with parts of things or dried flour. And when you start looking at it, you just start noticing more and more things that she used. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a gear, and that's a paperclip, and oh, that's a little doohickey off of a toy that I've seen before. You know, like and they're all like junk and what would normally be discarded. But they're so amazing, so well made, so detailed and cute. Oh my gosh. I have 3 or 4 of them now, and they all hang together on a little wall. I'm getting a little village. And they're too cheap too. Like, I want to contact her and say, you should double your price. The amount of work that goes into those things, but they're so amazing. And I love stuff like that. I have the hall of my stairwell I call it my handmade hallway, and so it's all things made by other people. I think I have one tiny little thing in it, but you know, it's like that's where I hang we have a ton of art, but that's where I do all the like folk things. You know what I mean? Nice, Stitcherly. Welcome to Twitch. It's good. We get a few viewers in here. I'll learn how to raid Miriam, and we'll go say hi. She's making sandals today. I think it was like a little pledge she told herself. I'm getting my sandals out, because I kind of came in at that point when she was saying it. And I said, get those sandals out right now and set them on the table. So she went and got them. but she's been kind of following through. She really knows how they go together, though. It's like it's all done in her head. Watching her put them together, I'm like, oh, you know what you're doing. I'm just hemming my shirt, you guys. You don't have to hang out. So I'm just doing my to-do pile. And hoping the stripes aren't a little too much for the hem of this as well. There we go, back at the beginning. All right, what's the next how-to video I need to do, you guys? Something I can do in like 10 to 20 minutes. What do you guys want? All right, there we go. Now I have a tank top. Yeah, it's okay. And then I put binding on the neck for the back. Oh, this is just a little tank top. I probably just rotary knifed around a tank top I had, add some gathers at the front, and I cut it on the bias. I used this for the how to sew binding video, and I needed something to sew binding on, like that was an armhole or a neckline. So that's, and I just never had finished the hem because it actually fits and it works. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna finish this and use it so that it's not wasted, you know. I have a whole pile of things I probably should start addressing at the ends of my stream. So here's my dress. I'm gonna hang it up on a hanger. If I had a hanger, I would show you what I mean, but I don't. And hang it in my closet or here for a few days, and then the bodice is gonna stretch out, and then I'm gonna shorten it at the top. Bound buttonholes. Nancy, you're so mean. I don't know how to do bound buttonholes. There you go, guys. When are you gonna use bound buttonholes? You are trolling me. Of all the things. Okay, so let's see. How do I raid someone? Let's see. I'm going to look at my settings. I have no idea how to do it. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay. Hosting priority. Hosting raid. Allow all raids. Well, I'm allowing raids. How do I do a raid? Maybe I should go to Miriam's channel and ask her. Her husband's in there as a moderator, and he's really helpful. I can see Brooke is watching Miriam. You can hide what people see, what you're watching and stuff, by the way, just so you guys know. Do you need to have spears to go raiding? Absolutely. Welt pockets, you guys aren't very nice, you know. How about regular buttonholes that don't look so homemade? Yeah, they are. They're very tiny welt pockets without the pocket part. Yeah. You'd like to know how to do that pocket opening for the front of blouses? You just want to know how to do a welt pocket? Yeah, we could do that. I did welt pockets on the Tamarack jacket. And let me see. Let me think about that. That's the only time I've done a welt, right? Oh, and I did them on the Audrey jean jacket. So here's the deal with welt pockets. If you're using someone's pattern that is provided in the pattern, they are sewn a little bit different from pattern to pattern. Like the Audrey one was probably the easiest one I've ever seen, but I didn't really like the way it left this big piece of fabric on the inside, so I ended up top stitching that down. The Tamarack also was a pretty simple way to do it. And I even had to take one out and redo it, and it actually went okay because I was trying to match my lining on the inside. And one thing that pattern didn't denote was, hey, if you want your pockets show on the inside of the jacket because you stitch through all layers. And so you need to remember to sew your fabric wrong side together on the inside pocket. So I had to do that one again. So, but yeah, I can work on a welt pocket. I don't feel like it's a very summery thing that we'll be needing. Where do you put your welt pockets on your blouses? To like up here? Yeah, bound buttonholes. That was the test for tailoring when I was in high school. That or making a line jacket. I opted for the line jacket. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could set that up. I could get better at those for sure. All right, so let me see. I'm gonna go to here. Now I'm gonna see if I can raid her. I don't know how to do that. How do I do that? Need to Google it or something. It'd be cute to add some pockets, Megan, like to an existing thing. I did see this amazing woman sew welt pockets on Instagram. Oh, she was Russian. It was mesmerizing watching her do it. She had some really good tips, but the fabric she was using was super easy to deal with. It wasn't like a wool tweed that was coming unraveled, you know what I mean? Or canvas on that tamarack jacket. Or the tamarack I was a little worried about because of the thickness of it, but it ended up going really well. And then trying to think where else. Like, it is handy to do on the backs of men's pants because the Jutland pants have those. I just didn't do that for my husband because he wanted jeans. I think in July I'm going to sew my husband some clothes because it's his birthday. We'll do some menswear. Got to get my machine up and running though because I really want to do some knits with you guys. I want some knits myself. I want some shorts too. I feel like I have too many clothes and I still need things. All right, so I'm delaying here because I don't know how to raid her. I really want to. So let's see here. Maybe I should Google it. I'm so lame, aren't I? You guys are like, I cut my teeth on you learning all this stuff all the time. But it would be so fun. How do I do that? Dashboard? Here, dashboard sounds like a promising place to look for something like that. Face masks? No, I don't want face masks. Maybe. All right, well, maybe I won't figure it out, but I'll just go to her stream and say hi. We can all just go over there. This is the lame Cerami raid because we don't know how to raid. So anyway, what did you think about? Oh, I like that shorts pattern, Brooke. My only issue with that, because I've been looking at that pattern, is where the pleats open up is right where my belly is, and pleats tend to make my belly look bigger. You know what I mean? But I like those. Those are really cute. Julia, how did your pants go? They went okay, right? You ended up picking pants. I don't know if I've seen your post about them. I haven't, maybe, I'm not catching everything on Instagram lately. Everyone's posting so much because it's Me Made May. I'm having trouble keeping up. So, I know, I'm wondering if the culottes pattern, oh, to add some pockets to the tank. I actually made a little tiny pocket for the tank, and I almost put it on there, but I forgot I put the gathers right there at the neckline, Megan. And so when I went to do it, I was like, oh, this is a little weird, because I was going to put like a little tiny chest pocket, you know? So, the Cheetown Chino shorts. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, right, Brooke? I know. Pleats belly. You know, I mean, the pleats help the belly. You know, it's kind of nice. All right, well, I'm going to call it a day. And let's see, I won't see you Saturday, but you'll see me early in the week next week. I don't know what maybe I'll start sewing dresses early. Maybe I'll start doing some just cutting streams of cutting some of the dresses. So I'm really trying to be productive on my pattern drafting, but I'm definitely have so many things to sew for you guys in May that I might stream a little bit more. And I did stream on the afternoon the other day on a Tuesday, a couple days ago in the afternoon. So that was kind of fun. And it was a little bit of a surprise for you guys. You're welcome. It's good to see you too. I haven't made is it the Sade tunic or the Sade tunic? I haven't heard of that one. Yeah. I know. Melin's in Europe. So it might be why. She probably has access to different patterns. Like there's probably more trends there. Different trends there, you know? That's probably why Louise. I can't remember where she's at, but okay, cool guys. Well, happy Mother's Day. I know a lot of you are probably moms or you have a mom. So happy Mother's Day. You know, oh, thanks. Yes. Awesome. Yep. And four-legged babies. Exactly. Yes. And if it's a tough day for you, I'm really sorry about that as well. So my heart goes out to you. So have a great weekend. Happy sewing. Instagram a lot. And I will see you guys soon. Maybe I'll try and find something to stream tomorrow because I will be here. You like the surprise pop-up streams? Good. I'm glad. Yeah. If you're not sewing along with me, I feel like I can do that, right? You know, because you can always watch it later and then fast forward through the boring bits. So have a great day, and maybe I'll try and figure out how to raid her. So you might see me fumbling here at the end to try and do that. So take care, you guys. Thanks for coming. Yes, have a lovely weekend. See you guys soon.